film opens in an interrogation room, Hutch Mansel's face bruised and bloodied. Going back a few days, Hutch is shown living a routine lifestyle from his morning workout to his daily commute to his boring job. Hutch is married to a real estate agent named Becca. She has 2 children, Sammy and Brady. One night, he heard a suspicious noise downstairs. He got up quietly as he headed toward the source of the voice. He realizes that 2 burglars, who later turn out to be a married couple named Luis and Lupita, have broken into the house. Hutch arms himself with a golf club but is spotted by Lupita. She pointed her gun at him. He calmly told her to take the money out of the kitchen pot. The 2 ask for his watch and wedding ring, but Hutch only lets them take the watch. While trying to escape, Brady lashes out at Luis, hoping his father will catch Lupita. Hutch prepares to hit her with a golf club, but stops himself and tells Brady to let Luis go. The young man carries out his father's orders. He gets a retaliatory punch from Luis before fleeing with Lupita. The cops arrived later, with Hutch feeling guilty for what happened. Both Brady and the officer criticized Hutch for not vigorously defending his family. The next day, Hutch's boss Eddie and his father-in-law discuss the robbery. Becca's brother Charlie offers Hutch a gun to protect himself and his family. Hutch later talks to his hidden brother Harry on the radio, and he tells him he didn't attack the robbers because he noticed Lupita's gun was empty. Then he goes to visit his father, David, a retired FBI detective, who tells him that he is not feeling well, despite trying to continue his life without thinking about the accident. He can't shake the feeling of regret for not doing anything to protect his family from danger. When his daughter Sammy mentions that Kitty's cat bracelet is missing and he realizes it was taken by thieves, he immediately took the bus to his father's house. He found him asleep. He took his father's badge, which he got from the FBI, in addition to his gun. David wakes up and Hutch tells his father that he has to complete a special mission. Hutch remembers a tattoo on Lupita's wrist. He visits many tattoo parlors to ask about the owner of the tattoo, until he found a questionable tattoo shop. The men there try to intimidate Hutch until one of them notices a pair of cards tattooed on his wrist. The man thanks Hutch for his sacrifice and leaves. The tattooist realizes that Hutch is very dangerous and tells him the owner of the tattoo. Hutch finds Lupita and Luis' apartment and breaks into it. He gunned Luis down and held them both until he returned his watch. But they don't have Sammy's cat bracelet. He notices that the 2 are parents of a sick child. They beg him to leave. He gets out in the rain and starts punching a brick wall to vent his disappointment. He is taking a bus back home. Some men get into the bus drunk. They start harassing the passengers, including a young woman who is sitting alone. He took out the passengers and the bus driver. He unloads a gun and starts to fight the men hand to hand. He started to land a few strong punches, but one of them took out a knife and stabbed him from behind before throwing him out the window. He managed to get to his feet and got into the bus to resume the altercation. One of the men grabs Hutch's gun and tries to shoot him after the rest of his friends are down. Hutch grabs the pole of the bus and uses it to drop the gun from his hand and deals a blow to his neck, fracturing his windpipe. Teddy begins to choke, but Hutch opens his windpipe to keep him breathing. After that, he returns home to find Becca still awake. She saw the signs of beatings and wounds on his body. She realized that he had reverted to his old habits. In a nightclub in town, gangster Yulian Kuznetsov is shown dancing and singing with glee. He later meets some of his other associates to discuss their joint fortune called Opshak. They question Yulian's ability to preserve their fortunes due to his penchant for dancing and his antics. But he proves he's the boss when he slashes the face of an OpShack shareholder with a broken bottle after he looks at him contemptuously. Others drink to his death toast because it means more money coming their way. The encounter is interrupted by Julian being called to the hospital, where he found his younger brother Teddy in a terrible condition. Doctors told him he had permanent brain damage. Julian violently interrogates Teddy's buddies to find out what happened and who is responsible. Hutch receives a call from his brother Harry, who tells him that he has attracted the attention of Julian, who is a very dangerous criminal. He advises him to visit a man called a barber to get information about Julian. He heads to the city center and finds that the barber was waiting for him. He gives Hutch a file on Julian and confirms how violent he is and that the OpShack guards millions of dollars in mobsters' money. A detective working for Julian is looking for anything related to Hutch. She dirty blackmails her FBI informant into giving her top secret archive information on Hutch. Is when she reads that Hutch was once a ruthless killer. She immediately lay down and let Julian do the rest of his mission with his henchmen. Julian orders every man under him to hunt down Hutch and bring him alive. As the family prepares for dinner, Hutch spots cars parked across from his house. He knows danger is coming. Becca and the children are hiding in the basement. He turned off the lights when the gunman entered the house. He starts fighting them. He shoots and stabs most of them to death. However, he was electrocuted with an electric gun. The armed men threw him into the trunk of the car and prepared to present it to Julian on a platter of gold. However, Hutch regains consciousness and opens the box. When he realizes he can't get out easily, he turns on the fire extinguisher, smoke filling the car and causing the car to crash. He crawls up from behind and finds one of Julian's men alive but bleeding badly. He tells the man that he used to work as an auditor, a nickname given to the feared murderer. When he got home, he called his father and advised him to be careful. He brings his family out of hiding and covers Sammy's eyes so she doesn't see the large number of dead bodies in the house. He sends his wife and children away to a safe place. He collects the corpses of the militants as well as someone still alive. He takes them downstairs. He starts talking about his past and mentions his last job where he had to kill a man who was embezzling money but pledged his life. He knew he really felt guilty for his actions, so he forgave him. Later, he tracked down the man and found him happily married and with 2 children. He admitted he was jealous. This prompted Hutch to retire and settle down. Then he filled the place with kerosene and set the whole house on fire before leaving to complete his mission. He brings Eddie a bag of gold bars and offers to buy the place. Charlie is unhappy because he thinks it will leave him without a job. He tries to attack Hutch. Eddie accepts the offer and Hutch begins rearranging the place, setting up booby traps everywhere. He then went to the OpShack. He kills all the guards in the place before burning all of Julian's money. In the meantime, 2 of Julian's men go to the house of retired David. They try to surprise the old man while he is sleeping, but David was ready and he detonates one of them with his gun before strangling the other. Hutch goes to Julian's nightclub and has a meal there. The gunmen corner him, but he reveals he has a mine attached to his finger. Julian makes them leave to talk one-on-one with Hutch, where he revealed to him that he destroyed all his money. Julian lost his temper when he learned that the OpShack had been destroyed. Hutch left the building. Julian and his men promptly hunt down Hutch. Everyone engages in high-speed chases through the streets, killing several men before Hutch can make it back to the warehouse. The armed men also arrive at the warehouse and begin shooting at Hutch. He is surprised to find Harry and David who have come to help. They shoot, stab and blow up anyone who gets in their way. One by one, the armed men fall into the booby traps. Only Hutch and his lieutenants are left to confront Julian, who vows to wipe out Hutch's entire family. Hutch grabs the mine and attaches it to a bulletproof glass window, then runs to Julian, pulls the pin, and blasts Julian against the wall, killing him. Afterwards, he thanks Harry and David for their help, but he asked them to leave as soon as the police arrived. He finds a cat in the warehouse and holds it gently. He is arrested and taken to the interrogation room, where he tells the interrogators that he is simply no one. The two detectives receive a phone call and eventually release him. After 3 months, Hutch is looking for a new home. The couple asks the real estate agent if the house has a basement. In the final scene, we see Harry and David on their way to a new and exciting journey. I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more, hit the like button to support us, and leave a comment if you'd like us to review your favorite movie. Until the next time, take care.